everyone and welcome to my channel, Ilario. So today I want to be talking to you about my first paid gigs dancing, my first times I was hired professionally. I'm going to be talking about how I came to have those jobs, what I did, and even what I made because I want people to have as much information as possible so you guys can get a better feel for maybe even doing it yourselves. So for starters, I am not a full-time professional dancer. I just want to throw it out there right now. I am still a student in training. I'm just in the highest level of a professional program right now, and the only paid professional gigs that I've worked are freelance jobs that I've been hired case by case basis, and then I've made whatever set amount that person who hired me offered. But as a whole, I am still a student in a professional program working on my training. So the first time I was paid to dance was to perform at a birthday party. So basically, a family approached me. They were having a big birthday party for their younger daughter, and it was at a big pool house. They had a big stage set up to put together a dance. I performed a small dance in front of a room of basically little kids. I made an appearance as a ballerina, and part of the job was just taking pictures with the kids, dancing with them a little bit, and then because it was a tea party, I went around and had tea with all the kids. The flat rate for the party was $100. The party actually did not go on very long. I was there maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. So if you actually even that out to getting paid $50 and up per hour, that is an incredible rate. It was a really incredible experience, not just because it was my first time getting paid and because the rates were really good, but it was also such an incredible experience because the little kids were seriously so excited that a real ballerina was there dancing for them and having tea with them, and it was really rewarding in my opinion. And so that is one aspect of how to work freelance jobs. You can just try to get hired for different events as a performer and as a meet and greet character. It's really, really fun, and it actually makes really good money. To make $100 just for being there 1 hour is really, really insane. The thing about being hired freelance for different events is that it isn't very stable and you aren't going to make a ton of money unless you can find a lot of events to work, but when you do work one event, you make a pretty good revenue off of that one event. So in my opinion, it's really great to work on the side of your training or your job or whatever you're doing as a kind of a supplemental, just an additional revenue. But yeah. So that is the first time that I got hired. So the way that I landed that job was actually by doing another job that I did as kind of volunteer work or for free. An organization was putting together a Christmas service, and they approached me and asked me to choreograph a dance as the angel of the service. It's about 2 minutes long, and I would perform with their live musicians. So I did that for them. I put together this dance, and it was really crazy because it was Nutcracker season, so I was already packed with rehearsals. But I put together the dance and I performed it. There were a lot of people there, and that is actually how someone saw my name and then decided they wanted to hire me for their child's birthday party, which then led to my first job. So while it can be kind of hard to work for free and put in all that effort, I think that it's definitely worth it. You're putting your name out there, you're showing people you're responsible and that you're good to work with. You're going to make connections. It's great for networking, especially when you're still a student. Networking is awesome. And it's also just a way to get another performance in. I feel like if you're a performer and you're a dancer, we love being on stage. So why not take that opportunity to be on stage just for some extra moments and reap some benefits of it. You never know what opportunities could come. So if you do get an opportunity where someone wants you to be part of their organization, another way, even if people aren't reaching out to you, I would even say that maybe looking into organizations that look like they could use a dancer in their program, just getting in touch with people, letting them know your services and being like, hey, I'm a ballerina, or I have a jazz dance that I would love to put together and donate to your service. If you can manage it on top of your other pre-professional studies or whatever you do as a dancer, I definitely think that it is worth doing. So freelance gigs are a great way, especially when you're still a student in training, to make some money off of your dancing and start getting a feel for working professionally and having that pressure on you and kind of stepping out independently. It's a really good opportunity and it's a good way to push yourself, and you do make some profit from it. The other thing I was going to talk about was just my thoughts on going professional full-time as a dancer. So I'm going into my senior year of high school, which means that the year after this, I will be making some pretty major career decisions. Through most of my high school career, my plan has been to dance professionally. My goal has been to get a contract with a professional dance company, accept a trainee position, preferably get into the corps de ballet as an apprentice, or maybe a contemporary company. But my biggest goal was to get a contract with a classical ballet company as a trainee, apprentice, or in a corps de ballet position. But I have to say that honestly, the decision between going to university, like a 4-year university or college experience, versus dancing has actually been something that I had to consider. And that is just recently, of past years, as it's getting closer and closer. Because before I definitely would have been like dancing all the way, completely gonna go professional full time, bye-bye college. So for starters, I do want to say, even if your main goal is just to get into a ballet company, you're not as big or interested in the university experience, keep a high GPA. This is a really, really risky industry. You never know what is going to happen in the performing arts and just the entertainment industry in general. And so it's really important that you keep your grades up and that you do keep trying. Your academics and your education are just so valuable in life. So don't blow off your academics, don't blow off your education, but I know that most dancers are not really the kind to do that anyways, because it's a really disciplined kind of art form, and so I feel like a lot of people are pretty disciplined in the other things to do as well. My plan has always been to apply to my favorite top colleges, which I've done a lot of research on, as well as research different job positions and go and audition and see what offers I get, and then make my final decisions. More and more, I have really been wanting my degree in addition to dancing professionally for multiple reasons. And I think the route that I'm really leaning towards lately is trying to find a way to incorporate college and dance together. I don't necessarily know if I want to major in dance. I would hope to get like maybe a trainee position while I'm going to college. But there is definitely a couple different roads I'm considering, ways to keep dancing, hopefully dancing professionally, and try and combine school at the same time. And as my life develops and I'll be finding things out in the next year, I will totally update you guys on that if you are interested in what roads I will be taking in my dance career. So a girl in my professional program recently had something happen to her that made me really stop and reevaluate taking a complete full force gamble on dancing, like many people do, because ballet, especially ballet, but almost all forms of dancing require you to so full-heartedly throw yourself into this art form in order to succeed. But, so I'm going to share this story with you. I'm not going to say any names because that's not really my place to do that. If she wanted to put this online publicly, she could totally go ahead. Someone I know was basically set up to go professional. She was going all the way in with her ballet career. She was graduating a year early with a pretty good GPA ahead of time so that she could just focus that next year, which would be a senior year high school typically, on dancing, which is pretty typical in the dance world. A lot of people I know graduate early or they adjust their schooling to their dancing. She was graduating early and she applied to a couple colleges just in case as backup. And then she was offered a couple trainee and ballet company contracts and positions, which is really, really exciting. She's an incredible, beautiful dancer, and that is so wonderful. So basically, her dream was there. It was right before her. It was, right within her grasp. So she declined her college acceptance offers, and she chose to go ahead and dance with a ballet company on the East Coast, and she was set to go and do that for next year. Recently, rehearsing for a show, she kind of rolled her ankle. She actually got it looked at closer and got scans. Received the devastating news that her ankle's injury was actually very severe, and in fact, she would not be able to dance on it for an entire year. So everything that she had been working for, graduating early and accepting these positions, and it was all right there for her, was completely taken away. And so she will not be able to go to the East Coast and accept that position any longer. I don't know if she put it on hold or what is happening. As most dancers know, a year not dancing can really do a lot of damage to your technique, especially this late in the game, and could be the breaker in you having a career or not. So I can't imagine what she's going through. So since she can't go and accept any of the job offers that she was offered in the ballet world, because obviously she is too injured and cannot dance for a year, she already declined her college acceptances. because she was very set on going and dancing professionally, and she had that offer and it was set up and it was ready to go. So now this next year she's going to attend community college, and kind of all her plans fell through. While I don't doubt that this person's life is going to work out incredible and she's going to go on to do really great things, she's a very strong, very accomplished person, and she still has so much going for her. It's definitely not the end of the road for her. This story and what has recently happened to her of late really, really made me reevaluate just going and taking a ballet contract. Unknown to anyone considering a dance career how risky it is and how high the stakes are. And I've always known that, and I've always considered that, and because dancing is my biggest passion, I've always considered that absolutely worth it. But with recent things in my life, I did have to take a step back from dancing for a couple weeks, although I'm back to every day now, because of some really personal traumatic events. And that, on top of what happened to her, and just accumulation of things, really just has made me stop and think a lot. With dancing professionally, for as many years as you have worked and prepared and all the competition you've beat and how incredibly difficult it is to go professional, you don't receive as much of a reward for all your hard work as a lot of people would think you might. The salaries are not incredible, and there's honestly always a chance that your career could meet a premature end. Dancers have to retire very early because your bodies can't meet those demands in general. And that's a known fact to everyone, that you have to say goodbye to your career pretty early. But there's also the possibility that at any moment when you're going for all of that you can get injured just like she did and have it all completely taken away. So that's actually been something really, it's worth considering. It's worth considering the stakes, and something that has made me reconsider. And so more and more I think I'm leaning towards trying to get accepted into a college, but then secure a trainee position with somewhere in the same area, hopefully a big city, so that I can dance at the ballet company and go to college at the same time. So I guess some things I want to talk about going professional. You don't know how it works, you research opportunities and you audition, and you get used to being told no plenty of times. And I didn't say all this to discourage anyone. The obstacles and the stakes are very high, but if you really love dancing and it is your passion, and this really goes for anything in life, anything that you are truly passionate about and you want to do with your life, don't let the stakes and the gambles and all the risks and the obstacles stop you. Potential dangers stop you from doing what you love. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I definitely just wanted to share some of my thoughts on going professional and where I'm at with that in my life, because it's definitely a possibility for me at this point, but I'm considering a lot of different roads. So that is kind of my thoughts on going professional as of late. And just some things I've been thinking about. But don't let that deter you from following your passions. And there's always a middle ground, and there's always backup plans, and there's always ways you can make it work. It's just important to make a fully educated decision and to consider a lot of things. But at the end of the day, make the decisions that are going to make you happiest. And know that no matter what happens, whether your dreams come true, whether you do get a job as a professional, and it's everything you ever dreamed of, whether you get a job as a professional, it's not quite what you hoped it would be, and whether you might not have dance pan out as a career like you one day hoped it would be, don't let that stop you from doing what you love. You can always dance. Dancing is open to anyone, and you can always do whatever passion in your life. Continue doing what you love because you love it and because it's what makes you happy, and that's what's important. And just remember that no matter the obstacles, no matter the roads you hit, and no matter the different aspects to each situation, everything gets better and everything will turn out all right, and life is going to be really beautiful for you. So just hang in there, do your best, go for your dreams, and no matter how things worked out, they are going to be okay, and things have a wonderful way of working themselves out to how they're supposed to be. This video was really more my thoughts, but if you want actual walking through the process of going professional, what I would do, what I would focus on, the steps I would take to find a job, that kind of stuff, then I would gladly make that kind of video for you, but if no one requests it, then I don't know if I will. We'll see. I really am just starting up this YouTube channel, so I don't think there's a huge following yet, and I have no idea if anyone's going to even want to watch a video of me talking. I know that as of me filming this right now, my only upload is my splits video, which got 1,000 views in about 2 weeks, which is really good. It was a lot more than I expected. I just hoped it would, like, if 20 people used it as a stretching routine, I was like, cool, I am so glad to help you out. So that many people saw it that fast was actually really awesome, and thank you for that. I got 40 subscribers, so that's really cool. That would fill up, like, a movie theater. Yeah! So that would actually be cool. It's kind of cool to think about the fact that there's a bunch of people that are, like, real people. That, like, those 40 people are all real people, and you all have personalities, and you all have different lives, and you all want to stretch and get fit and active for different reasons, so that's cool. And welcome to all my 40 new friends. If you ever need anything, and if you ever have any questions, then feel free to talk to me. So thanks for sticking around. If you actually watch this video, that is the coolest thing ever to me. I will be really surprised if even one person watches this video all the way through. Yeah, how do you end a video? Like this.